Yeah, make sure you stretch.
Henry is going to like roll his eyes and he's gonna say, "Get a room." Not this one. May I? Felix says, "Yes. May I remind you that we planned war strategies here? Can you just take that somewhere else?" Felix says,
You could die tomorrow. Might as well.
"This is war strategizing," Victor says.
Oh my god. Tori shits her.
Frankie grabs Victor by the hand, definitely like pulls him out of there. Let's go.
And as they exit, Stormy like, you know that jazz.
I can't.
Frankie, +2 morale bonus for the rest of the session. All right, as they fade to black, what's going on with? I think Tori wants to talk to Felix for a little.
Sure. So I assume we would.
I'm sure you would leave the lab
and probably go to like Felix's tent or something.
As you're walking towards the tent, Felix is probably going to very awkwardly attempt to make small talk, like, "Yeah, the weather's nice, and so, how's it going?"
Felix, just let's cut the small talk. I know this is probably a big shock.
I'm not used to talking to dead people. Frankie doesn't count.
Right. We didn't plan for this to happen, but I mean, we've made the most of it.
So you're kind of like that dude from The Sixth Sense, basically. that I think it was in that classic movie Die Hard or something. One of the many, many, many Die Hards.
Yeah. Just like that.
Bryce, I think. Bryce Willis or something.
Yes, Bryce Willis. Yes, I know Bryce Willis. Yes. How are you handling this exactly?
Tori, you know what happened to my sister, so this is...
That's why I'm asking.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of freaking out just a little bit, but you seem to be cool with it, I guess, to some degree, or at least seem to be, I don't know, seem to be stable.
I've accepted it. We've had a lot of time pass since I died, and I mean, there's not much more to say on that. I just, it is what it is. I made some choices. I got separated from the group, and I got killed with a weed whacker. Like,
of all things, it was a weed whacker.
Yeah, not the most graceful way to go. I agree.
So, is there a way to get you back? Or are you stuck like this?
Funny you mentioned that. We did a little exploring in this, like a video game world. And I have this extra life. And she, like, pulls out the golden aid plant and shows it to him.
That's an extra life?
I don't know why it's an aid plant. Don't ask, but it is. Yeah.
So this is supposed to bring you back from the dead somehow?
Somehow.
So why haven't you used it?
Well, that's actually why I wanted to talk to you. Because I know how distraught you've been since Agatha passed. And, I just think about if I had lost Carmen, my sister, how I would be feeling exactly like you're feeling right now. And her life was just taken very abruptly. And I don't know, I just feel like I've made certain choices and I've accepted that that's why I died. But Agatha didn't deserve to die, you know?
So wait, you're saying that this can be used somehow on Agatha? Or anyone who's died?
I think so.
I mean, I'm really surprised, but feel grateful that you thought of her. That's ridiculously selfless of you. But I don't know if I can ask you to do that, because it's not just her who's died. There's a lot of people that you could use this on.
Right.
Why her necessarily? And why not yourself? Like, you're the one who, I guess, earned this in the first place.
Because I don't like seeing you hurt like this.
I'm not the only person who's been hurt by death, Tori. He sort of, like, chuckles a little bit. I mean, yeah, I'd look really messed up, and in the grand scheme of things, I'm not exactly the poster child or a great role model as to how to deal with the death of a loved one, but, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who've lost people that they cared about, and it just feels selfish of me to say, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and save my sister.
Yeah, I thought it was selfish of me to just use it on myself, but I would have kicked myself if I didn't at least ask you. If, you know, you had the opportunity to bring your sister back, would you do it?
If there was a way I could bring Agatha back, I would do it I would do it in a split second. But I don't know if I can ask you to pay for that if it means you're losing your opportunity to come back too.
Yeah. And I've been struggling with this decision myself.
I mean, honestly, if it were up to me, I would have way preferred that Agatha and I just swapped places.
Why do you say that?
Agatha was always more valuable to this group than I was. I mean, sure, I know my way around weapons, but she's a brilliant strategist, and she's always kept her cool under pressure, and her psionic abilities are, in my opinion, way stronger than mine.
I think you sell yourself really short, Felix.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just the hangover talking, but no. I love my sister dearly, and you're right, she didn't deserve to go the way that she did. But I can't think of any other way to really make this right.
Well, I respect your decision on that. And I'll hang on to this for myself, but maybe there's something else we can do. I don't know. I can talk to spirits. Maybe there's a way for us to get some closure with Agatha.
If that's all we get, then I'm just gonna have to deal with that.
I've been really worried about you, Felix. You're not yourself.
You're worried about me? You're the one who died. Of course, there's a saying, I think Agatha said it once to me when with the people that we've lost along the way, I think she said something along the lines of, don't mourn for the death, mourn for the living that they left behind, or something along those lines.
Yeah, your sister was really smart.
Yeah, she was. She really was.
You should always hang on to those good memories that you and Agatha shared.
Well, how about you? I mean, I was thinking about Agatha this whole time that I hardly thought about anything else, really. But now that you're here, I missed our talks.
Yeah, I did too. I missed our talks a lot, Felix.
I know Henry missed you as well, he says, looking away, too, at that moment.
Yeah. Can I complain about this? My feelings, they're a little complicated. To put it lightly.
Sure.
I think I care deeply about you. And I think I share those same feelings with Henry.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So... I care really deeply about you too. But... I don't think I'm in a good state to be anyone's boyfriend right now, he says. So... I hate to say this because this definitely was not the case for the longest time, but I feel like between you and me, Henry's probably one that's more stable when it comes to relationships right now.
Yeah. No, and maybe it's not the right time, but whenever you're in a better headspace, when you're ready, I want to keep that door open.
Full transparency, Henry's not really my favorite person right now. Like, I know he had to do what he had to do, and it wasn't his fault. But it's so hard to get over the fact that he was the person who killed my sister. I don't know if I can get over that.
Have you guys talked about that since she died?
Henry's tried to reach out a couple of times, and if I'm being honest, I at best brushed him off. At worst, I think I said some things that I probably shouldn't have said and didn't really mean. Things that I don't even really remember anymore. So, not really.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not saying you need to go talk to him right now if you're not feeling up for it, but I think talking it out might help. I think you owe it to yourself. And I'm sure Henry really wants to clear the air with you too.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk, but I don't know if we can ever really truly be friends again.
Yeah.
I think it's just too hard. At least, not with the way things ended with Agatha. I don't think I can.
That's okay. You don't have to be friends with them. I think you'll find a lot of peace in having that conversation. I know I've had certain feelings towards a certain someone in my group about the way I died. And I held a grudge for a really long time. But it didn't really help the situation. It made things worse, and then we finally talked it out, and now we're actually in a good place. We're actually friends, and I trust him. And I'm not saying that that'll happen necessarily for you, but you never know until you try, and you might be wasting all of this time on, I don't know what I'm saying, but I think it's worth considering.
like you said, I know that you and Henry, you're close.
Yeah.
So, for your sake, I'll definitely try to make peace with him. For your sake.
Thank you. Well, I don't know. I guess if your feelings don't go away, and you're in a better place, I mean, I would love to hang out a little more.
I miss myself. You know, I kind of feel like I haven't really been me lately. I used to be that wisecracking, I guess, comic relief person in our in our trio, basically, me and Agatha and Victor, like, and I don't know, I guess I kind of lost myself, and for the first time in a long time, now that I'm talking to you, I'm actually feeling more like who I was before, so thanks.
And if I'm being honest, that's when I met you, that was immediately what drew me to you and what made me fall for you in the first place.
Well, good, because I liked myself when I was like that, and I want to be that person again, and I want to be that person for you.
And I want to help you get back to that person that you are.
You promise?
Totally.
Thanks. I need you. Thank you.
Of course. And I mean, I would hug you, but obviously.
Yeah.
Actually, I have an idea. We have 24 hours, and I have this cool thing I can do before I use my aid plant to like resurrect myself and stuff. Whatever. As a ghost, I can visit dreams, and in those and in those dreams, I can do whatever. We can do whatever we want. And I can touch and hug and kiss and some other things.
Okay. Can you bring people back in dreams? He asks.
Mm-hmm. Anyone you want to see?
Even her?
Yes, we can definitely bring Agatha.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, what time do you go to bed? And we'll make it happen.
10? 11?
I'll be there.
It's a date, I guess. He says.
It's a date.
But what about Henry?
That's where it gets a little complicated. Like I said, I have feelings for him too. And I talked to him about this already, but I don't think love is meant to be just shared with one person. I know this is kind of a selfish thing, but life is too short. And I care about you both, and I want to share how I feel with both of you.
If I'm being honest, I've never thought about seeing love that way. It just never crossed my mind. But life is too short, like you said. I know that just as well as probably more than most people. Yeah. Let's try it.
And if it's not for you, that's okay.
Again, I'm not really interested in having the three of us hang out together at once, but
No, no, that's okay. Like I said, you and Henry don't even have to be friends.
I don't think we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
But we'll try this. He'll give you a smile.
She'll smile back and
I'll see you tonight then.
I'll see you tonight. And then she'll take her leave. Out of character, you guys are killing me in the chat.
I haven't even paying attention. What are you all
Right.
saying?
Listen, the jokes write themselves.
Dream party.
The jokes
Wow.
write themselves. I am just
So much jazz. Dual jazz. Nice.
Mindfuck, dual jazz.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I was trying to keep it straight.
clearly this
I was
is your
really trying
fault.
to keep it together.
Your fault. You brought my mind into the gutter, and then once I'm there, it's like home.
That right? Same page. Oh, okay.
The slug comes out.
Speaking of which, let's actually go to Victor and Frankie real quick.
Oh.
So first of all, Frankie is quote unquote exhausted. Don't worry, like, we don't have to set the stats there, but you're exhausted. So we're gonna say that the two of you, you're under the sheets. Okay, you're in bed, you're under the sheets, and maybe Frankie's playing with Victor's hair. I don't know. Victor, if you remember, he had that Frankie plushie, so he's sort of like nestled on Frankie's like bare chest, and he has the Frankie plushie also that he's sort of cuddling and clutching with at the same time. And Victor's gonna say, you know, a good friend of mine made this for me shortly after you all left, and this is gonna sound really stupid and dumb, but I would actually read to him every single day. Sort of like how you and I used to do back when, you know, you were still around all the time.
Yes, I remember.
You definitely are better than the plushie. Way better than the plushie, it says, like looking down the sheets a little bit.
I would hope so. Looks like the plushie.
I mean, the plushie and I, we never. It wasn't not like that. He said, pedaling back again once he said it.
Frankie's really looking at that plushie like, how worn is this plushie? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily hold it against you. I mean, I wouldn't hold it against you. You know what I mean. It was a long time I was away, and it wasn't easy for me either. I mean, I didn't have a plushie.
Frankie, you know me. I'm very loyal, and while you were gone, I couldn't think of anyone but you the whole time. Is there something on Frankie's face that I need to make a roll? I need to roll a perception or insight roll for? Do I need to roll for
I
this?
think insight.
Okay.
I think insight.
Okay. The GM's going to force the subject one way or another, forcing the issue one way or another.
Especially with Frankie not being able to really lie or
He's just
hide
like-
or anything.
Yeah. So, I think Victor's gonna pick up on something. He doesn't know what it is, but he's gonna pick on something from the look on Frankie's face, and he's gonna say, "Frankie, what's wrong? Did I say something that upset you?"
No, it wasn't anything that you said.
I can get rid of the plushie if you're jealous, he says.
No, I'm not. I'm not jealous. No, that would be no.
What is it?
It's just, you know, where I've been and the things I've seen, what I've realized, you know, it made me question a lot of things. like I said, it was disturbing for me, realizing honestly who I was. And I mean, it's true. You did create me, but it's more than that. You know, I feel like I had to really rediscover who I was. And part of that, going into all these different worlds, showed that there were a lot of sides to me. Some that I don't necessarily care to really revisit too much, but I'm not going to lie. It's hard for me to lie, but I did question my feelings for you. Not that I was ever unfaithful or anything. At least I don't remember. There was this world where I went into the world and I was like very free about my body, and I was very what's the word? A slut. And
Oh.
it wasn't anything I could really control. It was just kind of like part of going into the worlds. It's just kind of meant to so many different worlds where I was very, very different. I was a minotaur in one world, you know, and I was a puppet in another one. It was crazy. So in that one, you know, I learned a lot about myself, and I just want to say that I don't know what I want to say.
Whose world was that? That you said you didn't have control over?
Well, not the, yeah, it was Story's world. You know, the ghost girl.
Oh, and she also died in that world too.
Right. So we were all different, like so different.
Yeah, when you and I leave here, can we not go to that world?
No,
Can we not?
we don't go into that world ever again.
Between Tori dying and you uncontrollably being a slut, I would rather we don't go to that one.
Duly noted. We don't go into that world.
Though I am kind of curious what I would be like in that world. I'm not that curious, he says, looking at you again.
Yeah. I mean...
So I want you to be honest with me then. When you were in that world where you didn't really have any control over things, did you do anything that you think I would want to know about?
I didn't do anything like with anyone. It was just I was very flirty and open about my body, and yeah, it was very different than what you see now. It's like, I don't know, like it was a part of me that just got to poof.
But you said when you were even out of that world, you were questioning your feelings.
Well, yes, because afterwards, you know, like I told you, we learned of who we were. We were just stories. We were written, and it was all just messing with my head, and I just... But now that I'm here with you, it makes sense.
You said it was messing with your head, so what did your heart say?
That was the problem. I couldn't really listen to my heart. My whole mind was messed up. I have all these memories that everything was just clouding everything. That's why I feel like I feel like I need to go somewhere. Perhaps we're away from all of this. Just you and me. No one else. And we can be like this.
So, there isn't anyone else you're thinking about then?
No, I mean, well, if we're being very honest, when I tap into the memories, I tapped into Ethan's memories. You remember Ethan?
Yeah, I do. And I think I know where you're going with this. I think.
Ethan. You know, Ethan and Henry had a very close relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Henry has talked about Ethan a lot. I definitely know how close they were.
His were the most vivid. They were the most real.
So all those memories came... You see flashes of Ethan's memories. Does that transcend into your feelings too? Is it beyond just memories to you?
Yes, there's affection there. Deep affection. An appreciation.
Victor kind of sits up and he just goes, wow. Can I be frank with you, Frankie? He says.
Of course.
Logically, I should be jealous. But I'm more enamored by you, by that. Do you know why?
Now I'm confused again.
You just have this amazing capacity to love. The fact that I would think normally if you had memories, it would just stay as memories, but the fact that those memories are actually affecting your feelings and how much you actually care deeply for Henry through Ethan's feelings, I can't help but see that as a really beautiful thing. You are such a beautiful person, Frankie, for that. I can't be upset at you for caring for Henry in that way, especially if you have parts of Ethan within you. I can't fault you for that. Not even if it means that you're questioning our relationship. Because I just care so deeply about you, and I don't want you to have to shut off or invalidate your feelings just to make me happy. Because that wouldn't be right.
So nervous to tell you. But obviously I can't really hide anything. At least that's what Sam says.
If you want me to be really honest, Victor says, sort of mimicking what you said earlier.
Sure, go for it.
Henry and I, we had a very special bond too. I mean, even before you were in the picture, I considered him one of my really best friends. And we were really close. And at the time, again, before you and I met, the thought had crossed my mind that maybe I liked him in some way, and maybe he liked me, and then things got really complicated, as you know, when you and I started hanging out more, and he started noticing that, and I never really thought much about our relationship, me and Henry, going beyond just being friends when you and I started spending time together. But yeah, there was a time when I entertained the idea of me and Henry being a thing.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you have that grin on your face? He says, looking at Frankie.
I'm curious, how do you see him now?
I mean, he's changed a lot for the better. I feel like he's become the person he's supposed to be. Kind of like you, actually. you and him are very similar in a lot of ways. I guess you and him seem to be really forming a understanding together as well.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, certainly for me, I've grown to appreciate him a lot more, and it's just difficult. Like, I don't even know how he would feel if I actually told him everything that I know. I haven't really had that conversation with him, like in depth, so.
Well, you and I love each other, and you're sort of having feelings for him, and I sort of had feelings for him, and he definitely has feelings for me, and I don't know how he feels about you, but I don't know. Do you kind of get what I'm getting at here, Frankie?
So you want me to be a little bit of a slut?
No, he says. I don't want you to be a slut. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want you to be true to your heart. I want you to be true to the people that you feel deeply about, even love, if that's what you feel.
Oh, I suppose. I mean, didn't really think about it much, but I can let this kind of take its course. I don't know where it could lead. I mean, I still have lots of other memories that I haven't really explored, so.
Well, as a scientist, I feel like, we need to run an experiment. I have a theory. We can test said theory, and we can either prove or disprove said theory.
Okay.
Maybe we need to get Henry involved and experiment for a bit.
Okay, so this is for science then.
Totally for science. Throw some variables in there. You introduce some variables, I'll introduce some variables, Henry introduces some variables, and then we'll assess. And I gotta warn you, Frankie, like these kind of experiments, it might take a while. It might take a while before we can get some conclusive results. So,
Nothing illegal though.
No, nothing illegal. Just 3 consenting scientists trying to figure out a theory,
Okay. Sure. I mean, I've had other people do worse to me. There was like this whole blood magic thing. Oh, that was a long story.
Blood magic. I don't know if I want to add that complication into the mix, but I mean, if that's something you will want to experiment with, Frankie, I mean...
It's kind of what triggered all of this, to be honest. It kind of set this all in motion. Like I said, I talked to gods. Gods.
Hey, for science, I'm open, I guess.
Okay.
The worst thing that could happen is Henry could say no. The worst thing that could happen is he could say no. And if he says no, then it's okay. I mean, for all I know, I know that he's been talking a lot about Tori, so for all I know, he doesn't have feelings for me at all anymore and just wants to be with Tori, so I don't know.
Frankie will like boop Victor. He'll like boop him. And then it's like, okay, for science then.
But then again, I know Felix also likes Tori too, so who knows how this is all gonna play out.
Yeah. Okay, so we save the world, and then we just have a massive experiment.
Science experiment, yes. Massive, very important science experiment. Frankie, I need this. Once I end one project, I have to do another project. Once we save the world, what's next?
Okay.
Otherwise, this is going to keep me up at night. I feel like it's going to keep you up at night, too.
No, yeah, it will definitely keep me up.
Well, if we're gonna be up all night anyway, might as well get Henry involved.
Okay. I'll try it. Let's do it.
You don't think less of me because I brought this up, do you? I'm just making sure I'm not okay.
I'm kinda turned on by this.
I will tell, like, this is your influence, by the way. This is me hanging out with you that I'm having these thoughts.
Oh, now it's my fault. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah,
I tell you
it's
that
totally
I'm
your fault.
I tell you that I'm a little bit slutty, and then all of a sudden this turns into this whole like experiment thing, and it's my fault.
Hey, I'm just trying to make you happy, okay? Don't call me an enabler. I just am trying to make you happy.
You make me happy. With or without the experiment, but we'll do it. It sounds fun. We just have to see if the others will be down to participate in the experiment.
Well, I think you and I have a plan then. We have an accord.
Okay.
He'll boop you back before giving you another kiss. And scene. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Okay.
Oh my god.
Did not go the way I planned it, but it sort of went that way.
It went that way.
For science.
For science.
You know what? I'm gonna be like, Christina, we need to perform an experiment, babe. For science.
I got a theory.
It's a theory. It's a bedroom theory.
It's a bedroom theory.
It went there, like it went there. It just naturally went there. It was great.
You know what?
Once Frankie came clean, like I was a slut.
I love how this part of the stew is very different from Tori's part of the stew. And Henry is like the bridge in between. He's
really
like the
is.
guy in the middle, like, of the stew.
Yeah, all this jazzy
Which is
stew.
perfect. All of the
Yes.
jazzy stew.
Jazzy stew.
It's the name of this. The name of this part.
For science. It's for science.
Science.
For
For
science.
science. For sure.
That's
Oh
Alex,
my god,
check
I just
this
saw
for
the picture. I love it.
Yes.
Yes. Did you just do this?
Yes, I was doing it while y'all were talking.
Oh my god.
I love it. That is adorable. Love
Oh
it.
my god. That's amazing.
It's so good.
That's amazing.
And I had to throw the
You
plushie.
even have the plushie.
The plushie.
All right, I need this. That's amazing.
That's so good.
If I didn't have children, I would like blow that up and frame it.
I would have done
Frame it
more,
if
but I
didn't
was
have
like, let me
children.
keep it PG for everybody.
PG-13
Yeah.
for sure.
PG-13.
That's amazing. That's gonna be the thumbnail for the
Access
with the
Frankie's
censor
world.
nug. There'll be a censor nug right there.
And you pay that censor now. You pay that.
I am
censor
gonna
now.
pay. I will pay the censor
Pay the
nug.
censor note, yep.
Right there.
Right.
So
If
I'm
we're-
thinking if we're going to be calling for more backup, we got to think of who the most like useful from each of the places are going to be. I think with Star's World, there could be some good heavy hitters and supporters, especially for if we're looking at augmenting Star's singing ability to cut through a little bit. We need some sound engineers and I mean as much musical backup as we can.
Agree with that. And I mean, even without that, I mean, like, I know you probably don't want to put him in danger, Star, but Stormy he knows how to protect people. If anything, as a consultation, maybe.
So just to reiterate, Taylor, obviously, she's illusion. She's an illusionist, so she can make illusions, which might be very useful for stealth purposes. Broken Oath is conjuration, summoning. Lady Matilda is abjuration, so that's like protection magic, like shields and barriers and stuff. Psycho Murder Unicorns are necromancy, if you remember. So, are there going to be a lot of dead bodies? Probably gonna be a lot of dead bodies. Albatross is divination. which were the seagulls, if you remember, and the chromatics are alteration transmutation. And Beyonce, if you think you can convince Beyonce to help you, might be a little bit of a hard sell. She's enchantment and charm and enchantment.
Even if you don't want Stormy in the front line, he would be good for consultation. He knows how to get people in and out of tough situations.
And Shepard's also like brute force.
Star will be like, there are quite a few people I can call. Even Beyonce. And I think if I got some calls in, we can get quite a bit of help, and magic and luck, hopefully, will be on our side. And I'll give Stormy a call, because he won't like it if I call everyone else and not call him. So, you're right, BP. And he'll look towards Sam. You're both right. It's time for a phone tree. But what about you guys? How are we going to get the pirates? Weren't there bottles that we had to send?
And even then, considering how we left, I don't think we can count on any of them to come help. They're halfway in the middle of the ocean trying to get Jim back home right now. I'm gonna have to say that the pirates are probably a no-go.
Yeah, the last thing we'd want is space pirates.
Yeah, and not to mention they're more likely to screw us over at this point, especially with Gregor in charge of them. Wouldn't trust that man as far as I could throw him.
Veed says you don't think Jim would want to help at all, considering we're trying to help his mom.
I think Jim would help, but not if I asked him.
You don't have to be the one to ask him.
And if anyone else wants to try, I'd say go for it. He's a very smart lad. I would not want him in the fray. But he's intelligent.
Came up with a lot of really great ideas.
Yeah.
He seemed to really like Sam a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't mind reaching out and seeing if he can give us a hand. I'll also reach out to Haskell. It's a little bit above his pay grade, I suppose, but he can be handy in a pinch.
Do you think Eddie would be able to do anything in this situation? He's a reporter. I'm not sure what he would do.
Well, I thought about having him take the victory photos, but I think we blew his mind enough last time.
I don't know. This would be a really huge story for him.
Here's a thought with Eddie, Sam. Isn't one thing that's pretty big on war's propaganda? Even though we're going to do this, there's still other bases for these folks. And there are I have a feeling there's probably some civilians who don't get all of the information.
Yeah,
so if he can get word out about what's been going on, maybe we can get some help in the background.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Maybe even break some of the cycle for those that are unknowingly taking sides in this conflict and don't have all the facts.
If we're talking about propaganda, then Eddie and Susie actually would be good for that.
Aye, be very good. What about anyone from Tori's world? Or heck, should we try to get a hold of Lonic?
Wouldn't hurt.
Wouldn't hurt. Maybe some of the Todds could help. Maybe, hate to say it, but maybe Dr. Van Vani might be able to give him an opportunity to destroy things.
Right?
Get another degree.
And we did promise to help him pay off his student debt, so maybe he could help us.
Princess Tangerine could be bait. The Speller might be able to provide some ways to enhance our soldiers' seeing and hearing, like with that potion that she made.
True.
Yes. I think that would be a really good idea.
If we were going to try to contact anyone from Tori's world, I think Star needs to talk to the good doctor.
I mean, he is a walking battering ram, so he probably would be alright to have along.
I think he could mess some soldiers up. and they wouldn't really be able to kill him. I would like to see them try to kill him.
Right?
He's already dead.
Very true. So, yeah. And we're going to have to talk to Tori and see if she's okay with her sister being, and the Scooty Poo gang being Phantom Smashers.
Maybe Victor can come up with a way to, I don't know, rig the packs, the neutron packs, to help in this situation more than just the ghosts, I guess.
True. And the traps maybe can imprison people, keep them from escaping. Maybe that way we don't have to take as many lives. It could also work for Victor's mom. Maybe we could keep her from being in danger.
Maybe. I mean, that's some good technology we can try messing with for a little bit. See how we can modify it. What about your world, Veed? Anyone you want to bring in from there?
I can't think of a specific person other than my buddy Oni, just because Oni's the one that sort of has been helping me with all of our powers and our Zords. So we should probably test out to see if the Zords would stick around after we summon them.
Good point.
I think we have at least one person from each world, including the Speller from B's world. We just wouldn't want B to be involved too much of anything illegal.
Exactly.
You're blowing up a base? That's illegal!
I gotta say, technically, isn't this whole thing illegal since we're revolutionaries?
Yeah. But B doesn't have to know about it. And I'm sure Lonic will help out too.
Yeah.
I think it's a solid amount of support, considering.
Okay, well that sounds like a plan.
Got a lot of phone calls to make.
Let's do this then. It feels like this is the final battle.
It does feel that way.
I mean, obviously Doctor Strange was a lot cooler with his hand thingy, but you know what? We don't have
Right?
Doctor Strange, so we're gonna have to wing it.
Right?
We're just we'll legally blonde these calls.
Yeah, we will. Yes, we will.
Yeah, I would prefer to go see Jim, actually.
So you're going to use the bookmark, and yes, you will be able to get onto the ship. And you probably see that they've gotten a good amount of distance since you last saw them. Jim is actually giving orders to the crew. Like he's actually instructing people to do this and this, and he's like, Bannister, like make sure that sail up there, the repairs are done and blah 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 blah. But he's actually seems to be like taking charge really well. You'll actually, as you're going past like the crew, you actually will brush past Gregor, and he looks at you, and as soon as he had like a very like a scowl in his face, but as you brush past him, he looks at you again. It looks like he's about to give you a dirty look, but then when he sees who you are, because I don't think Gregor had ever had any issues with Sam, he sort of looks at you and says, "Oh, I see you're back. Just popping back in. Where's the rest of your crew?"
Yes, they're taking care of a lot of other challenging personalities, making sure that they're on the straight and narrow, making sure that they're disarmed, so to say, so nobody can get any type of a knife in the back or anything.
Doesn't sound very fun then.
Sounds efficient.
Fair enough. So why are you back here? It's probably because you want something, right?
Oh, I want nothing. But unfortunately, I need something. And Jim seems to be the best chance at getting what I need.
Oh, Jim. I see. Well, he's right over there. Hard to miss him. He's barking orders at everyone.
Yes, for a couple of days, he may have to be a little silent, so I'm hoping there's someone who can make sure that there's no trouble while he's away and no issues when he comes back.
I have no interest in giving the boy trouble.
Good. And as you were, and I'll just breeze off over to Jim.
Jim look at you, surprised, with a surprised look on his face, and his features soften slightly when he sees you. So he's less of the league like kind of captain barking orders and everyone. He looks at you. His features soften a little bit, and he says, "Sam, you're back. Something wrong?"
Unfortunately, yes. I know you're on your way back, and you've still got a long way to go, but actually Frankie is in a little bit of trouble, and we're trying to gather as many people as we can to give a hand. One of the first names that came up was actually yours, just because you are smart, but also extremely capable. It would be maybe a couple of days away, but you'd get to see some new sights and meet a whole lot of interesting people, and we could really use your help.
Okay. What exactly do you need me to do then?
Well, this is going to sound very funny, maybe even not even believable, but there's this ship that we need to board, and some equipment that we need to disable, some people we need to save, and it takes a lot of determination and planning to be able to do it.
Boarding and rescuing people from a ship. I can do that.
When we first started talking about who we could pull in to give us a hand with this, initially the thought was we don't want to really encourage the entire crew, but with your capabilities, I think we stand a much better chance.
This place that you would be taking me, you all got food?
We've got a lot of food. It's not the best food, but it's packed for long shelf life. It's got plenty of variety in color and substance. It may all taste like chicken, but you can pretend it's whatever you want.
I'll tell you what, Sam. You're obviously looking out for your crew. I gotta look out for mine as well. I know you weren't really intending on having the rest of us involved in all this, but if you need my help, I need to feed my crew. We're running out of food. So if you want to recruit me, then if you can let some of us go to where you're going, at least just to be fed, then I'll say yes.
Jim, you're growing up so fast. I have to say that thinking of others in a time like this is very, very mature. I would definitely say your crew would be very, very welcome and would be heartily fed. You just have to make sure to take a moment and prep your crew for some funkiness that they're going to see, because the ship that we need everybody to go in and rescue these people is actually up in the stars.
I feel like the crew would be interested in going just to see that, honestly. Sam, I know that you don't really trust a lot of those people, but the crew trusts me. And frankly, you feed them, they'll pretty much do whatever you want them to do.
I am hard at trusting, but I do trust you. So by default, I'm going to trust their trust in you. I'm going to reach out my hand and give him just a firm handshake.
He'll spit before he shakes your hand. You got yourself a deal, Sam.
All right, well, be prepared to eat some of the blandest rations you can fill your bellies on.
All right, let's go do this. And I'm assuming they're just gonna like anchor the ship, and there'll probably be like enough crew members just to stay behind, but the vest just to make sure that nothing funky is going on. And as you all are leaving, you roll a perception hearing check. 6 out of 12. A fog starts to appear within you, and you start hearing a kind of thing going, and this cat like looms in above you. This massive cat looms above you, and it like looks at you curiously. And it's just gonna eye you, Sam, very curiously, as if it recognizes you.
I want to. Boy, I'd love to put that catkin outside the space station. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if we can get it close enough that it'll come as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna be going. Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Roll animal handling.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say that Jim will assist.
Okay. 10 out of 11.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're gonna try to get the kitty to follow you, and the kitty again looks at you curiously. It hasn't started shaking the ship or anything, but clearly it recognizes you, and then it sort of like leans its face towards your direction, and then kind of flicks its tongue a little bit, and then gives you a slight lick on your head.
What a good kitty, kitty, kitty. I've got a toy for you. It's a shiny.
Okay. And with that, you're going to activate the bookmark. And the entire crew will follow you into the library, basically. Now, while it's in the library, magically, the catkin will shrink down in size to not a normal cat size, but we'll say like the size of a bear. It's like now the size of a bear at the moment, temporarily, just so that it'll fit magically in the library. The crew is just going to look around very curiously at the library, and they're just going to be in awe by everything. Gregor, is going to remain poker faced the whole time, unlike Alex. And but even in his eyes, you can kind of sense that he's a little amazed by what he's seeing. But then the crew turns and sees that another bookmark activates, and in comes back Veed with Oni, the little thing on his shoulder, the little dumpling-looking thing on his shoulder, and then, boosh, like this big like sacks and sacks and sacks of food. This massive amounts of delicious food from Gourmet City comes pouring out behind him. And Veed says, "Oh, while we were out, a lot of the citizens really wanted to thank us for saving the city, and so they kind of gifted us all this food." And the pirates start salivating, and their stomachs are growling. And Jim says, "Wow, Sam, you're really holding back when you said that all you had were rations."
Oh no, this is serendipity. Meat's back on the menu, boys.
The pirates are gonna start eating, and Sam's and Jim's gonna say, "And there'll be more for you. There'll be more for you after this, boys, if you help us with this plan." And Gregor is just gonna take a big slab of like ham or something, just bite into it, and says, "Jimbo will do whatever you want. Just in there eating all this food."
All that meat.
Mm-hmm. But Veed also says, my phone was blowing up because a lot of people were trying to send messages to Frankie on Meat Grinder, apparently.
I kind of wondered. My guess is at some point he'll be able to reply back because he's most likely going to need a little bit of a vacation after this.
What the heck is that? Veed says, and the catkin, goes over to the food and starts eating like some of the fish that are on the like carts of food.
That is a catkin that Tori and I really kind of met, and I think it could be a big help, especially with the station. It can definitely rock the boat.
Well, a friend of yours is a friend of mine, Veed says.
If it's also the same option of going to visit, then Blackwater would actually go talk to Taylor in person. It's just easier that way.
You can go over to Star's World, and you'll go over to Taylor's apartment. And just because I think it would be fun, Taylor will open the door, and you can't hear, but you can see like behind her, she has visitors. The Chromatics are currently having lunch at her apartment right now. Yes, Taylor says, and then she'll sniff the air a little bit and says, Reggie.
Oh, it's good to know I need to take a bath.
You have a nice musk. It's a very pleasant musk.
Thanks. I see you have company at the moment.
Oh, yes. She says, and one of the Chromatics says, I know that voice. That's Sam's friend. I think Mr. Reginald. Reginald, come in. Where's the rest of you all? Yeah, you going solo today, hon?
Dropping in for a bit. Star's technically here, but in a different part. Everyone else is kind of spreading out to the other world. We need some help.
Oh, help's what you need? Well, sweetheart, just tell us what you need, and we are happy to do what we can. Yeah, I know, especially if Sammy's involved.
Sam will be there.
Well, sign us up, whatever it is. What do you need?
Reggie's also going to look at Taylor. It's like, well, overthrowing a tyrannical government who also has issues with people with special abilities. And we have to kind of disable a space station and try and save people who might be zombies off of it.
Wow. You all step into some weird stuff, and they didn't say stuff.
Weirdly enough, this isn't even the weirdest.